Yo, what is going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be going over something that I feel like all Madden players need to know, but only the good Madden players actually pay attention to, and that's going to be adjustments. Now, adjustments are not as sexy as, the new cute blitz that everybody's looking to run, but it's the most important thing you can do on defense in Madden is learn to adjust to certain formations. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into the bunch offset portion of this. This is going to be out of either the Eagles or the Colts offensive playbook. And then on the defensive side, this is out of Kansas City. You can use 4-6. You can use anything that has nickel 3-3 in it. This is my base defense. It's the way that I like to play against most people that I feel like use their brain, have thumbs, preferably two thumbs, in terms of trying to actually play the game of Madden, right? So the majority of people, when they're running gun bunch offset, they're really basing it out of two plays. And the two plays you have to be able to stop are going to be the play double post, as you can see in the bottom right-hand side. And then you'll also see the play verticals or verts halfback under that people will spam as well. So the way I go about playing is I take away those two plays and then I force them to try to beat me with other route combos. So let me go ahead and kind of show you how this works. We're going to call verts halfback under. This is the main one. And then on defense, I'm going to base everything out of the cover 4 drop play. But the way that I set this up is I will go ahead and run auto alignment on base. You pull up your coaching adjustments by hitting the right thumbstick. Push that in, and it'll bring up your coaching adjustments. So you see we've got auto alignment on base, your zone drops. I put my flats on 30, curl flats on 5, and then my hooks I generally put to 15. This is the way that I like to run this. You can leave match on or off. It does not matter for the sake of this defense in general. So cover 4 drop is the base play that I use when facing gun bunch. And I always run it to where my slot corner is on the left side of the screen, right? So even if their bunch is going towards the right, as it is in this example, I simply do not care. I run this way without auto flip on, without any of that type of stuff, because I want to guarantee my pressure comes in, or I want to make them, use slide protections and things to pick up the blitz. Generally, if they're doing that, then they don't have the ability to quick hike me, and they also don't have the ability to just send 5 out. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the setup. And the very first thing you want to do is pinch your defensive line, spread your linebackers, and then press. This is my base look against every gun bunch person I face. Now, what you want to do here is I blitz all my linebackers twice. That's going to give all 3 of these guys in blitzing assignments. But then I will take the linebacker on the left. I will man him up on the running back. The linebacker on the right, I man him up on the tight end. So with this look right here, we are good to go. This is how I set this up every single time. And you have the ability to do whatever you want with this player that is in the purple zone. Sometimes I blitz him to guarantee the pressure comes in. Sometimes I put him into a vert hook. Sometimes I'll spy him. Just doesn't really matter what I do in terms of this player. Sometimes I'll even bluff blitz him. That way he drops back and picks off some of those very short corner routes. But for the most part, I leave him in his normal flat zone, and I play on the free safety. I play on the opposite safety of the bunch. And the reason for that is because if they are in verticals, right? So this is going to be the stock version of this. They're either going to hike the ball as it is, or they're going to put the running back on a streak. That's normally your second setup that they will use. Or they will put they will call it by default and then drag the tight end. Those are normally your 3 main ways people are going to run verticals. Now, some people, if they are using Hot Route Master over set feet lead, you don't see that really at a comp level at this point. But some people will put the running back on an angle route. Once again, that doesn't really change much here because you don't need to blitz that defensive end that's on the right of screen. So from a defensive standpoint, if he was to go onto an angle route, I would put this left of screen, or excuse me, the right of screen defensive end into either a bluff blitz, as you see right here, or I would put him into a 0-yard flat, right? Or excuse me, a 5-yard flat. So those are the two adjustments you make if they put the running back on an angle route. This is my base setup right here, right? So you see we've got the running back manned up, we've got the tight end manned up, and then the reason this works so well is because it's going to take away verticals and it's going to take away double post. So I just talked about how it takes away verticals on all of those setups, right? Let's go ahead. I'm just going to run this play right here, and then we will go ahead and show how this works against double post. So let me go ahead, hike this ball. You can see the pressure comes in, so you don't really have to worry too much about them having all day to make their reads. But what you'll see happen is this linebacker that is manned up to the tight end, if he runs a drag route, obviously he'll be trailing him essentially, but even if he does run the drag, he'll run into the 0-yard purple over there. The guy that they're looking to hit, which is in this case Hayward Bay, the crosser, that's your responsibility as a person to actually play, right? So you see, like, my safety is just standing here because I'm not usering, but that's the person you're looking to play if it's verticals. And then you see the running back is manned up. So if they throw this, they're picking up 2-3 yards at the max. If they throw the tight end drag route, they're picking up 2-3 yards at the max. This wheel route, they can technically hike throw this, but they're not going to pick up a ton of yards. And there will be times where I'll just man him up as well. If they try to like continuously hike throw that, but they generally don't have anything open. And they also, like I said, have to worry about the pressure coming in up the middle. So that is against verticals, and that same adjustment will completely stop them from running all 3 or 4 setups of verts. Now, the other play people are going to spam will be double post. Double post is basically the same. You do the same setup defensively, right? So your same setup is going to be to man up the tight end, man up the running back. You're good to go, right? So that's all you need to do. Like I said, the defensive end on the right can go into whatever you want. Generally, for me, it's a bluff blitzed 3-rec, just the way that I like to play. Now, your setups for this are a little bit different because there will be times people will streak the point receiver. So in this case, they'll streak Hayward Bay, right? If they go this setup, and just looking at the defensive structure, right? The streak is pulling off that deep inside quarter that we have on the right. And then instead of us playing Hayward Bay with our user, we would then play the angle post route. Both of those are attacking the middle of the field. You see you have the C route basically blanketed with the deep zone and then the quarter flat out there. And then the tight end is manned up. So a lot of people like to use that tight end route to get underneath the deep zone on that side, and it simply won't work, right? Because he is manned up. The other option people will go with this is they will take the point receiver. Once again, that's RB. They will put him on a hitch. This is an adjustment that can get open depending on if they're on the wide side or the short side. But that 3-rec will do a decent job of actually playing that. So you don't have to worry too much about that hitch route just getting wide open. And if you put a player with lurk artist at that defensive end spot on the right, then a lot of the times he'll not only get a pick, but he'll crib it as well. So once again, you're taking away the running back route because he's manned up. You're taking away the angle route, or excuse me, the wheel route because the tight end's manned up. You're mainly playing the angled little post, and then you have the hitch route being played by the 3-rec. So all of these setups are going to go ahead and stop the 2 most important plays that people are going to use. And once again, you're doing that all while basically setting up a good blitz that your opponent has to really respect. So those are my 2 defenses, or my main defense that I will use against people that run gun bunch. The other plays that people can use when they are facing this, you'll see a lot of corner routes. People will try to spam some corner routes. But for the most part, they audible over to the bunch strong nasty when they're doing that. If they try to do it out of bunch, they're still throwing corners against an outside third, so they have to have a pull route, and it can't go to the tight end. So a lot of the times, it simply doesn't work. Now, I flipped my play here because I wanted to show people what I would do if people played the whole flip game with me. Because if you don't flip, you see your alignment's all messed up, right? So if they were to do that, you would just reman up these two players. It's very quick. It's very easy. The 3-rec still stays the same on that side. If they do that, then I would go ahead and take the purple that is on that side to the left and man him up on the point receiver, just in case he's running a hitch. That's generally what I like to do. With my user, if they flip, I would then play on the opposite safety. So instead of playing on, Winfield Jr. right here, I would play on Bo Jackson, the strong safety. And you'll see, once again, like, it doesn't really matter what they do here. You should get decent pressure, but you'll also see that you would have nobody open. Once again, kind of hard to showcase this with two controllers, but I wanted to just go ahead and show you how everything works. So, once again, pressure didn't come in right here for whatever reason, but you can see running backs manned up. You have the hitch manned up. Your user is responsible for the post route right here. And then, of course, your tight end on the wheel route is not going to get open either because he's manned up and there's a deep zone out there. So the only thing that they can do to take advantage of this defense that you kind of have to pay attention for and you can kind of play with them is if they were to go ahead and spam. So say they flip their play like this and they do this setup right here, which would be to wheel the running back and then hitch the point receiver. If they were to do that, where you can kind of get in trouble is they would be able to throw the C route over here on the right-hand side. So it would look like this pressure came in, but it would look like the C route would get open. I'm going to instant replay because I wanted to show this to you. So you can see how this player gets open. They would be able to throw that. If you wanted to play that game with them, what you would do in that scenario is you would go ahead and say they flip, right? They're going to try to spam this. This is a very meta setup. So if they were to go ahead and do that, what you would do is you would put that outside right receiver, or outside right corner, into a 30-yard flat. And then you would go ahead and just kind of be wary in case this guy does go on a streak, right? So if they were to do the same setup, as I mentioned, you would go ahead, you'd be wary a little bit, but they basically can't throw that C route at that point because they're throwing it right at a 30-yard flat. And that's really the key thing. If you see that and somebody's abusing that, the only difference for you as a defensive player is you would not back up your coverage, right? You wouldn't press your coverage. So it would look like that right here, right? So it would look just like this. You can go ahead, bluff blitz that defensive end. You can put him into a 5-yard flat. Doesn't really matter. Go ahead, flip the play. So I give you a true example of this. So it would look like this right here. And once again, like I said, you would go ahead, play on this safety in this example, and your whole responsibility would be watching whichever player cuts across the middle of the field, whether it be verticals and it's Hayward Bay, number 85, or if it's double post and it is number 3, whoever that is on this team. And then you would have to be wary of, if it's verticals, this player on the right-hand side is on a streak. So you would have to manually guard that and just kind of give up the crosser at that point. But that's the cat and mouse game that you would be playing with your opponent. Like I said, if you wanted to, you could put this slot corner on the left in whatever you want, whether it's a vert hook, whether you wanted to blitz him, whether you wanted to leave him in his purple. You could man him up on whoever you want, right? You could even bluff blitz that player, as I mentioned. Doesn't really affect too much, but as you can see, can't really throw that without a KO lighting up and knocking that out. So that's it for Gun Bunch. I know it's a long-winded video. Let me know if you guys like these videos. If you guys would like these videos, I will go ahead and break down basically every formation that people will use, right? Every meta formation that is in the game we can break down in terms of what I like to do defensively with adjustments. I don't want to get too crazy with the adjustments and just make like an hour-long video. So let me know in the comments what video or what formation you would like to see me break down next in terms of my favorite adjustments and how to stop it.